So I finally did it. I unfollowed everyone on Instagram. I feel really tingly and weird right now. And in this video, I want to break down why the hell I even did this in the first place and some of the pros and cons of unfollowing everyone on Instagram. And the question of the day is, have you unfollowed everybody, or are you thinking about unfollowing people from your Instagram? And have you experienced any kind of weird pushback as a result of doing so? Let me know down in the comments. The main reason I wanted to do this is I've been having this weird, like, numb feeling every time I went into Instagram. It's so much information at the same time. Like, I instantly felt triggered just opening the app, like bracing for impact or something. What's that about? I started to think about that. Like, how is this really affecting my mental health? And what was I even using Instagram for? I was starting to really question like who I'm following, why I'm following them. Should I follow people back? Like that whole political battle of like following people back if they follow you. It's a weird social pressure that I don't even know if humans have really evolved to handle this like mess of social media that we're currently completely enmeshed with. There's a number game, like the number of followers someone has, the number of likes you get on a photo, and somehow those are intertwined with our mental health with an algorithm that constantly changes. Like the rules for it change, and I'm constantly in this like feedback loop of how do I produce the best content or the best content, which isn't always necessarily the most authentic content. Like there's imposter syndrome baked in there of like, oh, I'm not creating enough. I'm not a real artist. Other people are more successful than me. I'll never get what they have. Like there's that comparison culture. What's wrong with me? I'm a failure. Like all these things that your saboteur, your inner saboteur wants to tell you to make your psyche and your sanity just completely crumble. Instagram is amazingly good at that. Like for me, I wanted to be on Instagram to create community and promote my work. And a lot of times I found myself consuming more than I was actually creating. The anxiety is real, and it was happening when Instagram wasn't even open on my phone. Like I'd be doing almost anything and just thinking, oh, I can make this into content for Instagram because people would want this, right? It worked on this other post, let's make more of that. Which leads me to overthink everything, which I'm doing right now in this video. What should I make? How should I make it? And a lot of times I will overthink it so much because of the Instagram anxiety that I won't even make anything. I'll just sit there and be like, oh, that was a crap idea, and then just throw it all away, and then just passively scroll through the feed even more and not remember anything that I just looked at. And then like 30 minutes will pass or an hour or something. I'm like, what am I doing with my life? I'm also just really curious about how social media has affected our brains, how it's affecting communication styles, how it's affecting our personalities and our behavior. I've read several books like Digital Minimalism by Newport. There's also How to Do Nothing by Odell. 10 Arguments for Deleting Your Social Media Accounts. I think that's what it's called, by Jaron Lanier. A ton of articles about the effects of social media on us. And a lot of them just kind of point to the same idea that these apps are designed for this purpose. Like all of this kind of obsessive overthinking that I was doing, this is exactly how these apps were designed, to constantly keep the app and its behavior and our own behaviors in the back of our minds or in the front of our minds so that we're always on them, basically so that they can sell more advertisements. That's what it comes down to on these apps. And in the meantime, we're giving them all this kind of free personal information, freely giving it to corporations so that they can sell more advertisements to us based on our algorithmic interests. And to me, that sounds kind of like we're living in a social media hellscape. I kind of started this process of unfollowing a bunch of people a few months ago when I realized I just had a ridiculous feed that was curated to like this weird hellscape. There was so much content, this overload started to happen. So I started to naturally just kind of unfollow people or brands that I really wasn't super aligned with. So I started unfollowing people. I got down to about 120-ish people, and that made the feed a lot more manageable, but it wasn't enough. And then a few nights ago, when I started to do this research of like, maybe I should actually just unfollow everybody, it actually made me really nervous. I was really concerned about hurting people's feelings. I was feeling this guilt of like, what if I unfollow like my best friend, all these friends, like what if they realize that I unfollowed them? What are they going to think? So then I was down to about 80 people that I was following, and I looked through that list. I was like, I still really like these people, but I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna unfollow everybody. I wanna see what it feels like. I wanna experiment with this and just see what it's like. So last night at about 2 a.m., I just unfollowed every single person. I am not following anybody on Instagram. I unfollowed my husband. I unfollowed my best friend. I unfollowed family members. I unfollowed all kinds of people. And some of those people are probably gonna get butthurt. I think that's the biggest con of unfollowing people, is there is this kind of weird, almost politicized like friendship following culture. It's like, hey, I followed you. Why aren't you following me back? And then some people will actually get upset. Like one time I was DJing at this club and this person, drunk as hell, came up to me and they were like, hey, and they looked like really pissed. And they were like, hey, Ben, why aren't you following me on Instagram? I followed you the other day. And that has always irked me, y'all. Like this whole follow for follow culture, or people getting really upset when you unfollow them. Like I get where that feeling comes from. You know, you want to be validated, you want to be loved, you want to feel like you have a connection with the world, like you have a community. But the thing about that, for me at least personally, is Instagram is an app. It's just an app. Yes, it's part of real life, but at the end of the day, it's just an app. And when I got to that point where I was almost unfollowing everybody, I did have that moment where I was like, maybe I could just have like a small circle that I'm following. But then I was thinking, I don't want to deal with all that negativity of people coming up to me saying, why are you following that person? You're going to follow them, but you're not going to follow me. What did I do wrong? I don't want that in my life. I don't want that extra burden of like social anxiety of like, maybe I should follow this person so they don't feel a certain way. I care what people think. I care about other people. I really do. I didn't unfollow people because I don't care about them. I unfollowed people because I want mental clarity. I unfollowed people because I don't want an algorithm to tell me what to do, how to create, what to think, what to buy. I'll admit it was definitely very weirdly emotional. Like I was kind of surprised at how emotional I got about unfollowing all these people, especially, you know, the people really close to me. It really felt like I was just like cutting them out of my life. But let me tell you, one day later, like it's the next day right now when I'm filming this, I feel fine. Like those people still exist. In fact, I went over to my friend's house, one of my friends that I unfollowed today, and I even told him about it, and he was just like, yeah, I don't care. He didn't blow up. He didn't give me crap about this. He didn't ask me, why aren't you following me? Some people might, but I think the people that really want to be in your life, the people that really value you and that you mutually value them as well, I don't think your good friends, your best friends, your partner, etc., I don't think they're really going to care. For the most part, they probably know the real you. They know that you're not doing it with malicious intention. They know that you are a genuine person, and you probably needed some space, some mental clarity from these apps that almost everybody knows is toxic. I'm also curious to see if this increases my productivity because I'm spending less time consuming content and I'm spending more time creating content. And because I'm not aware of like what everybody is doing in real time, I can actually kind of make things outside of that tunnel vision, that feedback loop of what I think people want and what my friends are making. So I'm gonna make more of that because that works in the algorithm. If you don't have an algorithm kind of working for you, or really kind of against you most of the time, in my opinion, maybe conceptually you're more free as a creator to create things that feel more authentic to you. And I do honestly enjoy going onto Instagram and kind of posting a few things, posting a story here and there. Some people probably unfollow me for the same reason, like they just don't connect to it or it's just crappy content. That's fine. I don't really care. You don't have to follow me. Nobody has to follow me. I'm excited about people following me, but the number at the end of the day to me is just a number. Like at the end of the day to me, what's more important is being present in this world, like fully present, making my own decisions, choosing to have really interesting and meaningful social interactions with people, and that usually happens offline for me. Like hanging out with my friend today, like I told you, that was so much more meaningful to me than Instagram has ever been. And I'm like, yeah, I want more of that energy. My throat is incredibly dry, so I'm gonna stop blabbing, but I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful for some of you that are thinking about taking that plunge, unfollowing a bunch of people, or maybe just everybody. And if you have any questions for me about this whole experience, let me know down below, because I might follow people back later on if I kind of miss the experience of social interaction or if I'm lonely or bored or whatever. But right now, I'm enjoying being bored. I'm enjoying not opening up Instagram, expecting there to be a ding ding and look at this, look at that. I feel a little bit off the grid, like I'm in a prepper dungeon or something right now. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. And if you did, leave a dolphin emoji in the comments down below. That makes you officially part of the hashtag House of Aqua. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next video.